Have you ever looked around at the world and thought, God, why was I born in this generation? Maybe you wondered if you would have been a better fit in another generation. Maybe you feel like you were born too early or too late. Maybe you've questioned whether your gifts even matter in a world that seems so broken and chaotic. If you ever felt that way, let me encourage you for a moment. You see, Esther wasn't looking for a platform. She wasn't trying to become queen. She wasn't chasing influence or recognition. She was simply just living her life, and God opened a door she never could have opened for herself. What Esther didn't realize was that the position God placed her in wasn't for a promotion. When the lives of her people were threatened, Esther had a choice. She could remain silent and protect her comfort, or she could risk everything and stand for what was right. That's when Mordecai said to her, "Who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this?" Maybe you've been asking God, why am I here? When God's been saying, I have placed you here for a reason. You're not living in the wrong generation. You were not an accident, and you have not been overlooked. You are alive during this moment in history because God saw something this generation would need, and he placed it inside of you. Believe it or not, but let me tell you that your gifts weren't given by chance. Your personality isn't random, and your testimony has a greater purpose than what you can see. Even the hardships that you walk through, the disappointments, the losses, the seasons that nearly broke you, God can use every one of them to help someone else out. Sometimes we're so focused on what we've lost that we fail to recognize what God has been building and rebuilding inside of us. The very thing that you've been asking God to remove may become the very testimony he uses to bring hope to someone else. And that's what Romans 8:28 reminds us of, that God works all things together for good to those who love him and are called according to his purpose, not some things, but all things. And I think that's one of the most beautiful parts of walking with God. Nothing is wasted, not your tears, not your waiting, not your failures, not your detours and delays. God has a way of weaving every chapter of your life into a story that points back to his faithfulness. So if you've been wondering whether your life matters, it does. You matter, especially to God. If you've been questioning why God has you where you are, can I encourage you? Stop comparing your current season and situation to someone else's. Stop wishing you were somewhere you're not, and start asking God, how do you want to use me right here? What do you want to develop in me right now? And what king are you preparing me to stand before, as you had Esther do, to save a nation? Your purpose and significance is found by faithfully saying yes to and accepting and being content where God has you today. And I believe this with all of my heart, that you were born in the right generation. You have exactly what God knew this season will require. And if he entrusted this life to you, he will also give you the grace to walk through it. So don't shrink back. Don't underestimate what God has placed inside of you. It's precious. Stand with courage and walk in humility. And remember, you are here for such a time as this. God bless you. And until next time, keep trusting God and keep growing in him.